when KNX In-Depth continues in about 6 minutes. Boeing has a lot of explaining to do over one of its most sophisticated and advanced airliners. You're listening to KNX In Depth with Mike Simpson. I'm Charles Feldman.
There's a technologically advanced automated system on Boeing's brand new 737 MAX 8 airliner designed to help the pilots avoid making potentially fatal mistakes during takeoffs, keeps the nose at the right angle so it doesn't stall out. But there's one big problem. At least one airline union's claiming Boeing didn't tell pilots or airlines about the new feature.
Now, that was exposed in the worst possible way by the crash of a 737 MAX 8 off the coast of Indonesia, killing all 189 people on board. Malfunctioning sensors combined with this previously unknown flight control system thought to be the potential cause of that crash. Now, U.S. carriers flying the 737 MAX 8, Southwest and American, well, they want answers. Michael Dreikorn is principal partner in the aviation security firm ASD Experts. Before that, worked in the FAA's Production and Airworthiness Division. Welcome to the program. This sounds, other than the crash, which was serious enough, but to hear the airlines in this country tell the story, it sounds like Boeing really didn't do a very good job letting airlines and therefore pilots know about a very new, sophisticated system.
Yeah, it's absolutely possible that Boeing dropped the ball on this one. A pilot jumps into the cockpit with the understanding that the training that he or she's been provided is adequate to control the aircraft through all modes of emergencies that pilot is known to.
So let's say, if we keep on with this possibility, that this system is in there and it malfunctions in some way, which is maybe the going thought, and then the plane starts to dip, it goes the wrong direction, and the pilot doesn't know what's going on or doesn't know how to fix it because the system is new and they don't know all of the ways it works.
And, that's just the issue with technology. The more we delegate our own intelligence and understanding of how to control situations, the less our ability to react to situations like that is going to be capable. But in this one, it's starting to look like the pilots did not know how to react to this, and they were not provided the proper training for such a scenario, or were provided the notification in the operating manual.
So here's a question that I'm sure some listeners are going to be thinking about. Even if the airlines now have been notified by Boeing and pilots as well, should they fly on one of these airplanes if they happen to go on Southwest or American and they see it's a 737 MAX 8?
Yeah, so what the FAA has done is they've issued paper and ink, not a solution, right? So they essentially told pilots via an addition to their operating manual, flight manual, if you encounter a condition like this, do this X, Y, and Z, which essentially is turn the system off and react to it in a certain way. It doesn't solve the problem or potential problem, but we still don't know what the problem is. Is it the sensor? Is it design? Or is it a maintenance activity that Lion Air messed up on?
Okay, so then that is where the investigation's kind of centering, and there's no guarantee of how long that's going to take to figure out what went on with this particular airplane that, I don't know, could show up in others if they have the same sensor malfunction or whatever it is.
Well, I don't think the public's going to know a whole lot about the details until the NTSB issues its preliminary report, which is due out either the 28th or the 29th of this month, November. Then it won't be a definitive report, but it'll essentially be where they stand at the moment with the facts that they have.
I get the economics of it and why airlines might be reluctant, to say the least, to ground a particular aircraft model. But is there a reason why, when there's a major airline accident, and if the issue about what caused it is still mysterious, that as a just sort of erring on the side of caution, the government doesn't insist that that particular model be grounded until further notice?
Yeah, so the entire structure of the FAA is built around economics. And its rulemaking authority to even ground aircraft are grounded in those economics. If the economic model says that there is a undue burden on the industry and there's not a proper justification to ground, the FAA really doesn't have that authority to make that decision.
Why would this system be either not talked about and put in the manuals or understated in how different it is from the one before? Is it? I guess it's easier to market a plane by saying it's plug and play. If you can fly the old one, you can fly this one.
Absolutely, that's a huge selling factor. I don't know the actual answer to why they didn't make that notification, but certainly the plug and play concept has played for decades now and is a good one. But it could have also just been Boeing's determination that it wasn't a significant amount of a change and it wouldn't impact pilots. But obviously, Monday morning quarterbacking on this one, might prove that a wrong decision.
To go back to the update of the pilot's manual, but there's another issue here, isn't there not? That pilots need to, on many things, practice something so that it becomes ingrained in their thinking, so they don't have to keep looking for that book. You have to kind of know how to react. Are they getting adequate training now in how to disengage the system should they encounter the same problem?
Based on what we're hearing from the pilot unions and individual pilots throughout their flying these aircraft, they say they're not. And you're absolutely correct. It's training, and it's not just an intellectual or cognitive thing. It's a muscle memory. You got to be able to fly the airplane in all flight patterns and all emergency conditions, and you can't be waiting to pull out the checkbook or the check log every time. You've got to be able to know what to do intuitively immediately.
All right, that's Michael Dreikorn, principal partner in the aviation security firm ASD Experts. And before that, worked in the FAA's production and airworthiness division. Boeing, in a statement saying it's assisting in the investigation into the crash, did not directly address questions about why. It did not do more to emphasize the changes in the anti-stall system.